Dear viewers, you're welcome to the channel Islamic Message. I am back with you after a considerably long interval. However, the system, I hope, will keep going slowly and gradually. You know, our subject is such that we are not bound by the time limits, and we are always current, in other words. You see, it's not politics or current affairs that we are dealing with. We are dealing with an extremely important subject, and that relates to the success in the life hereafter, which is the real life. So I welcome you, as I said before, and I hope that you will listen to me attentively, although my expression may not be absolutely excellent, because English is not my native language. However, I am doing it as a tremendous need which I feel in the core of my heart. This is my obligation upon me to convey that sort of thought to you, which would eventually benefit you in a tremendous manner. So now, coming to the topic. The topic that today I have selected for my talk to you can be captioned as it has actually three parts, and all the three parts I can describe in two words for each part. First part can be captioned as looking inwards. Second part, looking outwards. Third part, looking backwards in the history. Now I'll explain these three points a bit, and then I will today talk essentially about the first part only. Now, looking inwards means that we must be looking into ourselves, self-medication and contemplation, so that we look into ourselves as what we are, how we came about, who created us, what is the purpose of our life, where are we heading to, what we need to do, what we need to avoid. So these are the questions which we must ask ourselves and seek answer to these questions. Now, if we do that, you will see that to many answers, the question rather, the answer will be belief in one God, who is the creator, the provider, the sustainer. So this is the first part of my topic. And the second is, as I said before, looking outwards. What does it mean? Whatever you see before your eyes, you know, the trees, the houses, rather the trees, the birds, the beasts, the animals, and the mountains, the oceans, the sky, and the planets in it, and the sun and the moon, everything. Whatever creation, in other words, that you see before your eyes is a sign of the God's existence. To all this creation, there is one creator which has created all this, and that is the God Almighty. So we look at these, and then we tend to think about the God and build our faith in the God. So that's the second thing. The third thing, looking backward. What does it mean? We should look back into the history of, essentially history of religions, and you will find that all the divine religions are unanimous in one thing, and that one thing is that existence of one God who has created everything. Now it's a later perversions and deviations from the true teachings of religions that has changed the present setup of the religions. I mean, the faith has changed everything, but basically, if you go back into the history and you have an access to their true literature, unchanged basic literature, you will find that they are all unanimous in believing in the God. So I have described these three things, now which I will take up one by one, and of course I'll have subsequently three we talk with you later on. So I want to keep this one very brief, and just to inform you that these three things, it will provide an approach. This is just an approach. If you follow this approach one by one and start to apply your mind towards these things, you will find that the concept of the God or existence of God will become clearer to you with the time. And let me tell you one thing, very basic and important, that belief in God is more important for every human being than even his food, the shelter, the marriage, and other needs of the body. This doesn't mean that I'm denying the need of those things. I mean, food is important, shelter is important, and all those other things, but this one is even more important. The reason is that these things are limited to the needs of this worldly life, which is shorter period, as compared to the life hereafter, which is everlasting. And God Almighty has declared this time and again in His divine books, before Quran and in the Quran in several places, that those people who will deny His existence will be thrown into the fire of hell for all times to come. So you can imagine the miserable future that awaits such people who are atheists, non-believers, etc. So it should be the first and the foremost worry or concern of every human being to mend his thinking, to reform his thinking, to apply his mind and heart and soul to start to believe in the God Almighty. And these three things that I am going to talk subsequently will provide a mental attitude, rather mental approach to them, so that once they apply this and they follow this, I mean, it will facilitate their building of the faith in the God Almighty. And those of you who already believe in the God, it will facilitate their intensification or strengthening of that faith. Because the stronger the faith, the easier for you to follow the instructions of the Creator. And if you have the faith and follow His instructions, you are on the sure way to success, an everlasting success, to which there is no match. You see, this worldly life has been given to us to prepare for the life hereafter. And this is a very, very short and important time for us, and we must avail of it to our best and be worried about it, so that we may not lose it and someone may not die without having the faith in the Creator, because if that happens to him, then he is going to suffer an everlasting punishment. So with these few words, I stop at that and request you to please do pay very, very sincere thought to these things, ponder upon these things, and then you will find that the divine help will be with you. As I have already said in the previous vlogs, that you start believing in God, and then you see suddenly your mind and heart will settle down to this idea and will strengthen in your heart. And the indications or the arguments are tremendous. I mean, it's not that we are telling you to blindfolded faith. No. We are giving you the clues towards building that faith with the arguments. I hope this will help you. Thank you very much.